welcome back in. Just another football show. Doing them fan preview shows.
Taking a look at the divisional round. This is the first matchup of the weekend. This is Jags in Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium. Trevor Lawrence is going to find out just exactly how loud it can be there, right?
It's what I heard. It is what I heard. I will not. As we record this, will not be there. There's still some things in the air.
So there's a maybe?
That's a maybe.
All
Shit
right.
happens,
There's always
man.
a maybe, I
If you
guess.
find the right deal, you got to go. That's how this works. If you find the right deal, you got to buy tickets and go.
I think this could be an introductory game for the Jagwagon. Still open.
I think we're just low key hoping for Chiefs Bengals AFC Championship game to go to, but
Yeah.
it could be the last playoff game this year at Arrowhead. So maybe should go. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Talking to Jay, who was back a little back and forth. Will say messaged us at halftime and said, "See you next season, guys. Appreciate you."
I'm going to give him the benefit.
I ain't mad about it. I ain't mad about it at all.
That's the reverse jinx, and guess what? It worked. And we've both.
Yeah, I am the king of the reverse.
We
jinx.
have both been reverse jinxer. We've both been reverse jinxies. It's just how the football gods go. So Jay, you absolutely played it right, and look, it worked.
Here it is. And then we're bringing back in Frenchie, talk Chiefs, and God knows that might run a little long because I love talking Chiefs. What are we gonna do? We didn't get to talk about them last week, so
it's true.
Let's get a hold of Jay, see if he's sobered up since Saturday night, right? Ooh, I wouldn't be.
You get sad beers, then you get happy beers. That's a lot of beers.
I mean, kudos if he's sober. I'll give him all of the credit. So let's get him on and get it going. All right, so we didn't think it was going to happen. We really
you didn't think
it was going to happen. In fact, we got the message. We got the message saying, "Will you talk to us in the preseason?" Which we appreciate that.
It was a perfectly timed reverse jinx.
It really was, and I did that. I've done that so many times.
Absolutely.
I messaged Jam part of the way through the fourth quarter of that Chiefs-Niners Super Bowl. Congratulated him on the win.
Right.
It's a bold strategy, but it worked out for you.
At least I didn't turn the game off.
Yeah.
I did not turn the game off. I
went to bed. I didn't know that your team won until the next morning. So
my mother texted me that same thing. She's like, "Holy shit, what happened?"
Yep, I was fighting a cold and just decided to go to bed and woke up to a whole bunch of messages and was like, "Wait, what happened?" And pulled up the score and the highlights.
Yeah, that was
Holy
nuts.
shit! Okay.
Yeah, what was the feeling for you on Saturday night? Obviously, was maybe around halftime. You let us know that you would be talking to us next preseason, but
I'm pretty sure it was when we were down 27-0. I'm pretty sure it's when I texted you or messaged you guys.
Yeah. Okay, how did it happen? How did the Jags come back? Did the Jags win or did the Chargers lose?
Look, the Chargers in 17 of their 27 points, they had a total of 35 yards.
Yeah.
So a lot of it, I do believe that the Chargers their defense played really well in that first half, but Lawrence was giving that game away. I mean, I don't know if it was just postseason jitters or, big stage jitters, but he definitely, he was not having his, we were giving that game away 100%.
Yeah, it was
maybe not 100, maybe 75%.
It was 4 interceptions in the first, 20 minutes or something, right?
Yeah, 4 interceptions, 5 turnovers total.
Were you burning your Trevor Lawrence jerseys?
Hell no.
Were you hopping off the Trevor Lawrence? Good. That's the only right answer.
Hell no. Man. No, he's been so good I can't say so good all season long, but that last half of the season up until minus the first half of this past Saturday. Lawrence has he's the prince that was promised.
There you go.
Oh no, here we go.
It is. Yeah, it was amazing to watch after the first 4 beers I had for every interception he threw.
I bet that helped a little bit, and then the rest of the thing happened, and hell yeah, I think
it was nuts.
I think at some point the whole world was rooting for the Jags, right? Like okay, sure, Chargers look good, this and that, but it's the underdog story. It's the huge comeback. It's seeing Joey Bosa so pissed, yelling and cussing at refs, throwing his helmet around. It is just seeing the underdogs come back and just get under the skin of the. whole world was rooting for the Jags.
Here's the thing, too. You don't hate the Jaguars. You might not like them because you have your own team. Like, people hate the Cowboys.
It's a
people
very fair point.
Hate the Patriots. We've sucked for so long that we don't have any haters. Like, there's nobody who's like, oh, fuck the Jaguars, I hate them. Like, nobody says that.
That's true. That is such a good point.
It's a very good point. Yeah, and they're like kid brother, right? Now they're coming along and they're in the playoffs and.
Right.
Yeah, and now they get a fantastic matchup against what is the number 1 seed, the best team in the AFC, if not the best team in the league, pretty much all year except for Week 1 or whenever they lost against the Indianapolis Colts.
Right.
You got a game here against.
Didn't they lose against the Texans?
No, just the Colts.
Just went to overtime against the Texans. Just went to overtime.
And they only lost to the Colts because Chris Jones said bad words to Matt Ryan. Bad word, probably. One word specifically. I don't know. There was a penalty and it killed the drive. It's whatever. We got to move on to the game, though.
Yeah. Is this David versus Goliath, or is this Goliath versus Goliath?
Look, I said in preseason, we played the Chiefs in Week 10. Am I echoing on you guys too, or is it just my end?
No, it's just your end. Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
It's probably my board.
No, you're fine. I said in preseason that Week 10 was the matchup I needed to look at to see our measuring stick. To be the best, you got to beat the best. And the Chiefs, I feel like, have for years, even when they didn't win the Super Bowl, they've been the best. We lost by 10 points. I mean, we had the onside kick to start the game.
It was.
We couldn't capitalize on a lot of opportunities we had. And the Chiefs, I believe, are 26th? 32. The Chiefs are actually 32 in defense and pass touchdowns allowed. So it's definitely David versus Goliath. I mean, Kansas City is the measuring stick that I've said for this year and last year that I wanted the Jaguars to, measure up to. So David versus Goliath, absolutely, hell yeah.
We all know how that one ends. So,
yeah.
Yeah. And you're walking into hostile territory, Arrowhead Stadium. You are 8.5-point underdogs. It looks like right now. The first game on Saturday, the 3:30 game, Central Time, 4:30 Eastern Time. But I don't know. I just think like there's more to it. We saw, the early game hiccups from the Jags. We saw them recover. We saw the grit and the heart, and we saw Doug Peterson, flashing around his experience and his Super Bowl, his Super Bowl prestige and everything like that.
Dude, that fake quarterback sneak was amazing.
And it's the simple things that the fourth down call with Travis Etienne. It's everything.
Yeah. Can we just touch on the fact that if we added up the size of all of our balls, Doug Peterson has bigger ones than any single person listening to this podcast.
And somehow he always has, right? He's the Philly special, right? And
right. And then that T formation, that fake quarterback sneak thing. Dude, that was crazy.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, Doug Peterson he's the bravest man in the world.
He has to be, right? And the Jags D shows up, but it is a fun team. It's a fun team to watch. Every playoffs there needs to be a team like this, a team that no one expects to get out of wild card, no one expects to get into the playoffs. And then they show up and they just make a bunch of noise and they scare teams, right? The defense actually the Jags defense is actually allowing fewer points per game than the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Jags are allowing around 20, Kansas City around 22. So there's there's a lot here that says, this isn't necessarily going to be Kansas City by 1,000. Jags are in the plus column with takeaways, and the Chiefs are in the minus column. So there's a lot more to this game than just Kansas City good, Jags bad, because that's not it. That's not even close to it. So I actually have a really good feeling about this game. Like you said, they played Week 10. It was a 10-point game. Jags hung around. I'm sure Casey was worried the whole time.
We missed 2 field goals. Yeah. I mean, it should have been a 4-point game, and the game plan changes when you're 4 versus 10.
Yeah. It is just one of the ones that, okay, I want to see it. And the Jags, Detroit Lions are out, so Jags can be America's team. Cowboys, who cares? Jags are America's team. They're the team that everyone's going to root for. They're the underdog that's going to be in all these games.
Nobody hates us.
And nobody hates you. Perfectly put. And looking at this game, Casey kind of
hates you this weekend.
I'm sure Casey was chomping at the bit to get me on the radio today.
Oh no, sir. I don't do none of that. But I'll tell you what, I didn't want
like,
anything to do with playing a team for a third time this season. So I was very happy
you and your
in the
KC
nicest
fan
way
were,
possible
like,
to learn that the Chargers had lost.
He was rooting for the Dolphins.
You're goddamn right. I was rooting for the Dolphins, though there was a certain point that I asked.
I was pulling for the Dolphins. I was pulling for the Ravens. I did not want to play. And there's two lines of thought for this. Either A, I don't want to play a rested Kansas City team, or I'd rather play a rested Kansas City team that's a little bit rusty.
Yeah.
Andy Reid doesn't
Rust
do
equals
that.
rust. But
Mahomes is I can't say enough good things about Patrick Mahomes. Like, that dude scares the shit out of me.
and most of the league too. Looking at this game, like, how do you contain a Patrick Mahomes, right? We've seen him do it every way. We've seen him do it with his legs. We've seen him kind of wiggle out of the pocket and then underhand or left hand or spin around in a circle and throw it. Like how do you contain a Patrick Mahomes? Or are we just doing a shootout, old-fashioned Western shootout?
I wouldn't mind seeing an old-fashioned shootout, honestly. I feel like an old-fashioned shootout, win or lose, I mean, the Jaguars beat the expectations this year by miles. If our defense can step up, look, if the Jaguars play with the momentum that we came out of the halftime with, if the Jaguars play like that, I don't know if Kansas City can stop that beast that came out of the locker room at halftime.
Yeah. All right, Jay, give me a little bit of game flow. Like, how do you feel like this game's going to go? This is, like we said, this is the first game on Saturday, the first game of the divisional round weekend. How do you think this game's going to go? Then give us a final score here.
See, it's so hard because, like, we came out so flat against the Chargers. I don't think Doug Peterson is going to let that happen again. I think we come out firing. I think it's going to be a bit neck and neck through the end of the game. I really don't see anybody going up by more than 10 at any point. I say 30. If we win this, it's going to be 30-27 Jacksonville. But I would not be surprised one way or the other what happens in this game.
All right, when the Jags win, are you going to Waffle House after?
There you go.
Dude, I have a Waffle House like a quarter mile away from where I live. I could just walk there. I'll wear my Trevor Lawrence jersey.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I hope it's a great game. I don't want us to get crushed, and I don't want KC to get crushed. I mean,
I don't know that anyone's getting crushed here. Like, as a Chiefs fan, I just don't know that anyone here is getting crushed.
No, we played y'all very hard week 10. Like I said, 2 missed field goals completely changes the outcome of that game.
Indeed.
The defense steps up a bit. Trevor Lawrence comes out firing instead of just throwing. I mean, he had more passes completed to the defense on the Chargers than he had to any wide receiver. So
Yeah, that's problematic.
in the first half. So 30-27, that's what I'm calling it.
All right. That is respectable. I could absolutely see that. I wouldn't disagree with you. All right, Jay. I sincerely hope that we're not talking to you next week, but if we are,
sure
I will make Ryan take care of all of the heavy lifting, and I will sit here and brood the whole time. So appreciate you
silently in the corner.
Appreciate you taking some time to talk to us. Look forward to the game this weekend.
Absolutely. You guys enjoy it. I'll talk to y'all next weekend.
Thank you, sir.
Talk to you later, Jay.
Y'all have a good one.
You too, man.
All right, so now we got to bring in Frenchie. You know what he's doing. He's over here talking Chiefs. It's my favorite part of the week. We get him in, and hopefully he makes a nice long run in doing these playoff fan conversations. Chiefs playing in the playoffs yet again. Frenchie, how you feeling?
A lot more confident than I think a lot of people were in preseason.
Fair. That's absolutely fair. Some question marks. The Tyreek deal went down, right? Some people were not happy about it, and then much like myself and other people, sort of, you were like me, talked yourself into, well, this was the right move. After a couple of days, you went through the stages of denial, right? Like that's what it was for me, at least. I don't want to speak for you.
Oh yeah, it had to be. I think every single Chiefs fan went through, what are we going to do now? Where are the big plays going to come from? But then I stopped and I looked at the draft haul. And that draft haul ended up including the pick that helped get Trent McDuffie.
Yep.
As well as picking up George Karlaftis in the first round this year. And the Chiefs haven't had a lot of first-round picks over the last couple of years due to trades.
Yeah.
but they nailed both those. Karlaftis looks like a freaking stud over the last 6 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
And Trent McDuffie, even after dealing with an injury, looked like one of the best young corners in the NFL over the last half of the year.
Yeah, you're right. We got a lot of picks out of it. Got some good, we got younger. Right? I think the quote that I used multiple times was this Chiefs team expanded the window. Right, this team was in a window to win a Super Bowl, and they expanded that window. A lot of young talent, a lot of cheap young talent. That's the important part. The business side of things, right? A lot of young guys on cheap contracts, able to make things work in the other areas. So yeah, I'm with you here, and it is sort of a turnaround from maybe feeling down in the preseason. So it's a good point on you.
Mm. Yeah, this year has really proven to me there are very few executives in sports that I'd be like, you know what, they make the move. I'm going to trust any decision they make. Brett Veach is one of those few people that I would say that.
I'm with you. That there's very few. What's his name over there with the Eagles? Grossman.
Yeah,
Roseman. He's very good too. I'm in on that, but I'm with you. So let's roll into a little postseason football. Right, got that first round bye. Got to put the feet up. Regardless of how that happened, we'll leave that one behind. But were you? I don't want to I want to whisper it. Right, I don't want to say it out loud. Were you as pleased as I was when you found out that the Jaguars won that game? I woke up the next morning and found out the Jags won that game. I'd given up. So boo on me for not watching that whole game. But is this the most favorable possible matchup you think that the Chiefs could get, or how do you feel here?
I think the only way it could have been better is if Skylar Thompson had pulled the upset over the Bills, because that would have got the number one thing in the Chiefs' way out. And I think even if Tua was back, the Chiefs would still beat the Dolphins.
Okay, see, that was a question that I literally, as I was rooting for the Dolphins, I messaged Ryan and I went, wait, hold on, does Tua come back if they win this game? Because it might change who I root for here. Because that team was clicking at certain points. I ever want
Tua to come back.
I'm with you there.
That dude is lucky he is not eating his food through a straw.
Yeah, I'm with you there. That's a whole off-season conversation, but you are absolutely right.
100%.
That's Miami. That's a whole Tua's got some choices to make, and hopefully he makes the right ones.
But I think the Jaguars match it pretty favorably for the Chiefs.
Sure.
They've got a good young offense, but they don't necessarily have the playmakers outside that are going to make the Chiefs struggle a little bit as much in the secondary, like we saw in some of those games, like against the Chargers, against the Raiders, and some other teams that had top-tier wide receivers. I was one of the people that questioned the move to sign Christian Kirk, but here we are, a 1,200-yard season later, and if Calvin Ridley was, not suspended and playing for this team, I think they'd have a really good shot to put up some points. But
God, damn, that's one of those things everyone forgets. That's a thing next year, or potentially next.
Yeah, should be. I mean,
God, that's weird.
That's
everyone forgets that, but this young team just getting better and better.
Mm-hmm. And I think one of the nice things about having the first round bye is it's really going to help the Chiefs' offense, I think, kind of get fully healthy. Joe Tooney was banged up.
Yep.
Nicole Hardman's been on IR. I think he's supposed to be fully healthy and ready to go.
They ruled him out today.
Oh, great.
I think it'll be okay, but they did, in fact, rule him out today as we're talking.
But at the very least, you get an extra couple weeks past Kadarius Toney's ankle issues and hamstring issues and stuff like that. And Travis Kelce, as much of a warrior as he is, it's always nice when you can get some rest for your 33-year-old tight end.
Yeah,
who
for sure
sees more action than anyone else in your offense.
Yeah, I mean, as you pointed out, we were all in the same boat here with the Christian Kirk deal. But last time these two teams met up, 9 receptions, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. So he did his work out there. I would be. I guess I want to ask how you feel coming off of the regular season to an extent. We've seen this Chiefs team on both ends of the spectrum against the running game, right? ETN rushing for this team has maybe been on the downhill slide as the season went on. We did see the Chiefs hold Jacobs to, I think it was like under 60 yards the last time we saw the Chiefs play. He led the league in rushing. He banged them up for a ridiculous amount of yards the last time they played. I feel like the Chiefs played a complete game against the Raiders. Give or take how you feel about the Raiders as a complete team, especially without, Derek Carr or whatever. Again, a conversation for another time. But I feel like we saw the Chiefs like in full mode the last time we saw them play, which made me feel a lot better about heading into the postseason.
Yeah, one of the things that I've noticed about Spagnuolo over the last couple of years is his defense really starts like ground into form.
Yeah.
Usually, they'll start at midseason, but like week 12 or 13 is when they really start to take it to another level. And I think we saw that again this year. Like I mentioned, that stretch by Karlaftis to close out the regular season was huge. Chris Jones is probably the best interior player in the NFL, not named Aaron Donald.
Careful, you're gonna piss off. Oh, well, he might have that. He might have that beat this year, but sure.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Chris Jones played like a first-team All-Pro again this year and got rewarded as such. And I think there's a lot to like about this young defense now. I think Nick Bolton took it to another level this year. I really like what we saw from Willie Gay after he came back from the suspension.
100%.
Leo Chenal, I think, is going to turn into a really good weak-side linebacker as he gets a little bit more comfortable going into next season. But I like this young linebacker.
On that. That one is one that I think is going to take a little time, but I'm with you there too. I think he's going to be really good.
At the very least, he knows how to hit people, and sometimes that's all you need when you've got two other good linebackers. And then, some of the growth from some of the young corners. Number 35, his name I cannot remember. I really like what we started to see from him later in the year. Already talked about how much I like the young rookie. And then L'Jarius Sneed continues to get better every year, and I think he's well on his way to becoming one of the best corners in the league, if not already in that top 10 conversation. But he kind of flies under the radar because his defense, everyone talks about the holes on it. But you know what? They win you. They don't necessarily win you games, but they're going to do enough that Patrick Mahomes is going to win you a couple games.
Yeah, obviously that's been the evolution of this team is moving away, like we talked about at the beginning, moving away from a Tyreek, a big, huge, huge play offense to being a more complete team, like Casey said, and that means strengthening the defense. That's why you drafted the defensive side, so you don't need to necessarily, hopefully, lean on Patrick Mahomes as much. Although the last time these two teams played, he had a pretty good game.
Mm-hmm. And I think the big thing between now and what we saw in the matchup earlier this season is that the Chiefs actually have a running game now. Isaiah Pacheco, I think, was the steal of the draft. Casey, I know you and I mentioned that we were both excited about him coming into the regular season.
I was trying to like tamp down my excitement as he was just sort of climbing the depth chart in camp, in preseason. It was just like, this kid's not actually going to like do this, right? And here we are, and even more so, Jet McKinnon has sort of just taken this offense by storm. So I love what we're doing, and now CEH is in his 21-day window to potentially come back and just add another weapon there. I mean, maybe he's not seeing as much work as regular, right? But all of a sudden he's there, and it's just another weapon out there for Mahomes to throw to.
Uh-huh. And I really like what I saw from Juju Smith-Schuster this year. I think it was a really nice step up for him. I think if he hadn't had like the concussion issues midway through the season, he probably has a 1,000-yard year. And he, obviously he's not Tyreek Hill. He's not going to be as big a play, but he works in between the sticks, in between the numbers so well on those crossing routes. And they still big play opportunities that we saw from guys like Hardman before the injury, and of course the other big free agent signing, NVS. And the more I see him play, the more I really like the trade for Kadarius Toney.
Dude, I was going to ask. I do really feel like, and I don't want to. I don't know. Maybe it just comes off as like super excited or whatever. And obviously, no one is replacing Tyreek Hill, but Kadarius Toney has the big play ability that a Tyreek Hill brings to the team. You can see a quick dump off a screen pass where he is just moving his feet and getting things going. So I am with you there. He has been a big bring to this team, and for the price that they paid for him, I will take it every day of the week.
And I really think he's going to take McCole Hardman's spot in the rotation next year. I don't know if they bring Hardman back.
No, I don't think so.
Clyde is back next year. With those two guys, that frees up a little bit of cap space, both being, more veteran players, so that rookie contract has gone up every couple of years. But I think overall, I really like what the Chiefs have, and I think Sky Moore still has a lot of potential, but he just has to get his jitters out because that dude is struggling right now.
Yeah, I don't like seeing him out there, but I get it. He'll get this chance, and it's still early. But man, I feel you there too. Ryan, what you got?
I was going to say, you actually bring up Kadarius Toney. He was the guy who got the first touchdown in the prior matchup. There was a 6-yard pass, but it's one of his 2 touchdowns that he got this year. So all the pieces are kind of clicking for the Chiefs this year, and I think having a more multiple offense is what has kind of made up for the loss of a Tyreek. But now you're in the playoffs. You had the week off because you earned that 1 seed more or less, and you're playing a red hot.
I don't appreciate your tone, sir.
It is more or less, whatever. You're playing. I want to say a red hot Jaguars team coming off that gigantic comeback against the Chargers. How do you feel the Chiefs are going to be able to handle a team that has that kind of momentum, that has the confidence boost from being able to come back like that and win?
Well, you see, there's a big difference between playing against an Andy Reid-led team and a Brandon Staley-led team. If the Chiefs get those 5 turnovers, that game does not end in a Jaguars victory.
Yeah.
But also, you can take the Chargers out of Los Angeles or out of San Diego. Can't necessarily take the San Diego out of the Chargers. It might be a new home, but it's still the same franchise. You never trust the Cowboys. You never trust the Chargers in the playoffs. That's what I have learned over my 20-plus years of watching football. And the Jaguars, I think, are a very interesting young team. I think they are going to be a team to contend with for the next couple of years. But I think that Trevor Lawrence is going to pick up his first career loss on a Saturday this weekend.
I'm glad you brought up that stat. It came up on the show, so I'm glad that you knew that one too.
Show.
So I tend to agree with you, right? I do think that beating the Chargers is one thing. Coming back against them, that very impressive. Getting the Waffle House after, hey, a man after my heart. But
you ain't lying.
But now you're going to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are obviously the 1 seed. They've been as good as any team this year. They've been here before. This is this is looking to be like the 4th year in a row of going to the AFC Championship. 5th year.
It'd be the 5th. Because Mahomes has been 5th year as a starter. He's played in 4 straight AFC championships. And I'm really hoping the Bengals upset the Bills because I think that'd be awesome. Because I really hate to say it, but I think the Chiefs have a better shot against the Bengals because Mahomes is due to beat Burrow. But on the other side, Josh Allen is more due to beat Mahomes in the playoffs.
Something's going to come due, and it's going to make the Super Bowl weird. But you got to get over the Jaguars first.
Yep, 1 game at a time.
I don't think it's a huge mountain to climb. I give them their flowers for what they did before for getting over the Chargers. Now
don't overlook them.
You're going
Please
into
don't
Arrowhead.
overlook them.
You're going into Arrowhead. Trevor Lawrence already kind of made the quip. I don't think it was as negative as Chiefs fans are taking it, but they're going to run with that about the volume in Arrowhead. So, Frenchie, give me a little rundown. How do you think this game is going to go, Jags, Chiefs? This is what did you say, Casey? The
first game Saturday.
First game Saturday. It's the first game of the weekend.
Yeah, 3:30, I think, our time Saturday.
How does the game go on Saturday, Frenchie? And then give me a final score, too.
I think you'll see the Chiefs come out maybe a little bit slow just because, it has been a week, but we know how Andy Reid is coming off bye weeks. I think you'll have a couple fun plays. If the Chiefs go on a scoring drive, I think they'll put it up a score or 2 before the Jaguars will. I think the Jags will make a little bit of a stand, but overall I think it's going to come up well short. I expected the Chiefs, honestly, to kind of go into the second half with a double-digit lead and really push it home. Andy Reid is notoriously kind of bad about keeping his foot on the gas pedal, but it seems to change a little bit in the playoffs, except for the AFC Championship last year, but we're not talking about that. It's a new season. And I think that Andy Reid, having seen what the Jaguars just did, keeps the pedal down and looks to bury this team. I got the Chiefs winning maybe by a score of 31-10.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I guess I think you nailed it there, though. Like, okay, Andy Reid knows that this team can come back. Andy Reid, just saw it last week, so more inclined to, like you said, keep the pedal to the metal, keep his foot down, keep it on the gas, and not kind of fall into a lull and have a couple of drives end short and give them the ball back and give them opportunity. So I think you nailed it on that.
For sure.
I think the big key matchup is going to be Josh Allen versus Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown was named a Pro Bowler this year. Orlando Brown has not played like a Pro Bowler this year.
No.
And for a guy that wants to be the highest paid left tackle, good luck with that. I think the Chiefs are going to look to draft one this year to replace him, and he might come back on the franchise tag one more year. But
I'm with you there.
If Josh Allen can kind of get after Mahomes and make things a little bit tougher, the Jaguars have a pretty solid front seven, which is something, they've kind of had off and on over the last 5-6 years. I think it could make things a little bit rough, especially in the running game. But I just don't know. Very young secondary for them. I don't know if they've got enough to keep with all of the weapons the Chiefs have. Again, they don't have that Tyreek Hill, but you've got 3 or 4 guys that can make a play with the ball in their hands with Tony, obviously Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, and MVS. All of those guys can make you pay if you make a mistake. And like you mentioned before, Casey, Jerick McKinnon has been a huge addition to this team late in the season.
Love that, Jet McKinnon. All right, man. We appreciate you taking a little time out to have a conversation with us, and I hope to be giving you a call next week and talking about an AFC Championship game.
Yeah, I'm also hoping it. I'm like I said, hoping it's against the Bengals, so the Chiefs legitimately have home field advantage.
Yeah, I think it's a game that the Chiefs need to win. I'm with you there. I would like to see them come in and beat them and that whole bullshit thing that's going on. So.
Yeah.
All right, man. We will hopefully talk at you next week.
Sounds good, guys. Have a good night.
Appreciate you coming on. Take it easy,
Thanks,
sir.
Reggie.
Bye.
All right, that's it. As we record them, I don't know how you listen to them. I suppose.
How we listen?
It's the last one we recorded, guys, and it went a little long. But what do you expect?
And that's the one that you've been
when
waiting
the
for,
producer's
right?
a Chiefs fan, you get what you get. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
No,
That's just what it is.
and obviously Frenchie, knows what he's talking about, loves his Chiefs just as much as you do, and is able to go over everything about everything Chiefs. And we didn't have a game last week to go over, so really it is a bit of a recap of the season too. So
True, it's all true.
That's just how it happens. That's
Fair
how it
point.
works out.
It's a fair point. So make sure you guys are checking us out on all the interviews. If this is the first one you're catching or whatever, check them all out. They're on YouTube. They're on the old Facebook. Check the group. Check our Twitter feed. Links to the YouTube. It's all out there. Give us some likes, some subscribes, some shares. All it takes. That's all it takes. Hit that little share button, man. It's a quick thing for you if you like what you're listening to. Really helps us maybe get some more eyes on the product, and it's super helpful. It's free. It's easy. Just hit that share button. We will if you missed any of them, like I said, go back and find them though. But that was the last one we recorded, which was the first game, so it's a whole weird thing. They're all going up. All these are mostly going up on Friday, so I could see how you could catch one and maybe not another. It happens. So check them all out. Make sure you're checking out the podcast on that came out today as you're hopefully listening to this on Friday. Gave you all our picks, all our predictions. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. You're getting our best bets for the weekend. Put in the work, as it were, as these playoffs roll on.
Yeah, it's like that Netflix show. You don't have to watch it in order, right?
No.
Kaleidoscope? Something like that? Something with a K.
Is that the one?
It's like that. But
I've heard of that.
These divisional round previews are just like that. You don't have to listen to them in order.
All right. That's true. It's true. Any of them you want to listen to, just listen to them before the game start. That's all.
Throw them on while you're driving
or
to
listen
work.
to them after the game start and just laugh at whoever's wrong.
True.
Someone's going to be wrong.
Someone's going to be wrong.
That's how this works. All right. So until the next time you're listening to our voices, I don't know when it's going to be. Preview, podcast, whatever it is next week. If you're all caught up,
do a lot of stuff.
and this is the last one, good on you. We appreciate you. And we'll be back for you next week. And we'll be talking to only 4 fans next week. Oh, I know it's a little bit of a dream. It's hard work, but we love doing it.
Yeah.
Until then, though, this has been Just Another Football Show.
See ya.